Hey, Hank. Hank, wanna go to the mountains? Wanna go to the mountains? He does. So many times when you're looking for dispersed camping and your map takes you to what you think is the area, you get there and you find a gate like this, and it's basically telling most people when they see something like this and they think, well, I can't go in there, it's closed off. Well, this is one of those parts of dispersed camping that you'll learn about. Look for something like this that are kind of letting you know that this is a Road 500, Forest Service Road 500, and it's open to trucks, jeeps, hikers, mountain bikers, horses, but it is closed to ATVs and four-wheelers. So we will open this gate and we'll head in. These are little tension tighteners on here. I'm not sure what they're called, but you basically will flip this off and it'll relieve the tension off of this wood right here. Just like that. Then you can pick it up off. That will fall. You move it out of the way. And as you can see, that's back, and that it can be just as easily removed when we head out of here. But if you pass through and you open it, make sure you shut it behind you. So we're all set up here. We got a nice little spot. We're in the eastern plains of Colorado, east of I-25. We're about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the actual Rocky Mountain National Park and Fort Collins and those areas. All right, so let's talk about some considerations when you do decide to do some public land camping. So one of the big ones is going to be, how do you find public lands? How do you find dispersed camping? How do you find free public land camping? Well, the first and most immediate place, and probably the best authority on the subject, would be BLM.gov, which stands for Bureau of Land Management.gov, and that is the federal government's websites that dictates what land is considered public, who can access it, when they can access it, boundaries, maps, current advisories, things you should know before you go in. So it's a very helpful place. Same thing with the Forest Service's website. They'll give you the rules, the camping. Let me throw this for him. So that's the big thing is, right? So finding public lands. You want to check with those federal agency websites first. I'll link them down below. I will also link an article I wrote down below about how to find these public lands. And it's basically a combination of those federal government websites, along with stopping by the regional offices for those ranger stations, regional offices for BLM and Forest Service, where you'll be able to walk in Monday through Friday and talk to someone with the Forest Service. And you'll be able to kind of get some maps and talk to a real person. It's going to be very helpful. So stopping by those regional offices is very nice too. Another way to do it is with some applications on your phone. I will link some stuff down below, but there's Campendium, there's Ultimate Campground. These are apps, along with many others, that will tell you where public land camping is. It'll give you reviews of it, locations, coordinates, map directions. So you can literally, on a road trip, whip out your phone, open up those apps, and say, oh, okay, we're 25 miles east of some public land camping for free. So just pull off, go find it, make sure you've got gas, food, water, the stuff to take care of yourself, and go camp there for the night. All right, so why do people choose to go public land camping? A big reason is, for me specifically, is I've been to many campgrounds over the years, KOAs, state park campgrounds, county campgrounds, privately run campgrounds, and while many of them are nice, they have nice amenities, showers, washers and dryers. For me, when I camp, it's an escape from traffic, people, cell phones. Everything we deal with every day that kind of fills our mind up with stress and anxiety. When you go to public land dispersed camping, you're usually on your own, out there by yourself, and I love that. I love the solitude. I love how quiet it is. You don't hear a car, you don't hear a horn, you don't hear a siren, you don't hear another person. You just hear the ambient noise, a breeze, maybe an animal in the distance, and that's what I enjoy. That's what I want to be around when I'm camping. I don't want to be 17 inches from a 40-foot fifth wheel with 7 satellite dishes on it, and it's just not for me, right? So that's for a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very comfortable, easy way to camp and do your thing. But for me personally, I like to be out, away, and by myself. It's just what I enjoy. But then a bigger reason is it's free. These campgrounds these days charging people $30, $50, $70 a night to sleep in a little rectangular spot where you're hooked up with water. Sure, but I'd rather not. I can stay here for 14 days right here for free and do whatever I want to do. So I enjoy that. I enjoy the freedom. I enjoy it's budget friendly, and I enjoy just the isolation and solitude and just being out here in nature. That's part of what camping is to me. All right, so some things to think about when you camp. A big one is being prepared. And so while I don't think you should run out and become a doomsday prepper, I think if you're going to dispersed camp, you do need to be prepared. And we're talking basics, right? So food, water, first aid, gas, making sure you have enough to get in and get out, because sometimes you can get way back in these properties and before you know it, you realize you're an hour from a gas station or more, right? So you want to have the right gas. You want to be able to take care of yourself if you get hurt. You want to be able to call for help if you have to. You want to have food, you want to have water, and you want to have vehicle self-recovery. A lot of these roads out here in public land are fine, and most vehicles with any type of ground clearance are going to get in and out no problem. But depending on the time of year, it could be washed out, it could be snowy, it could be muddy, and if your vehicle's not prepared or you're not prepared, you could get stuck out here. And I haven't seen a car drive by in hours out here, so might be a while before you see some help. And a lot of these places don't have cell service. So you are your own first responder, you are your own park ranger, you are your own guide. This is you out here, which is another reason why I like it, right? So taking care of myself, being self-reliant, it's part of what I enjoy, and it's something you need to consider if you come out here. All right, let's talk about livestock. I touched on it with the gate thing, but livestock run these properties. Not all of them, not all the time. Sometimes you'll camp for a long time and never see a livestock at all. Sometimes you'll pull in and there'll be livestock right there, and that's fine. What happens is the ranchers, local area farmers and ranchers, make agreements with the government to keep livestock on the properties. But while we're on the subject of animals, let's talk about predators or wildlife you need to be aware of. So in these eastern plains out here, and most places, predators are not going to be an issue, right? So what do we have in most areas? Coyotes. They're not really going to bother you. But in some areas, like specifically 2 hours that way, I go up into the mountains. We have very real predators like mountain lions. They're up there. Black bears, you know, you don't want to get in the habit of leaving food out and just giving a bear a reason to be in your campsite. Same thing with up north in Montana and northern Wyoming. Not here in Colorado, but those areas like northern Wyoming, Bridger-Teton National Forest, Yellowstone, Montana. Then you're going to run into like grizzly populations, and grizzly bears are predators if, you know, the conditions are right and certain things are met. You can bet you could have a bad day with a grizzly bear. So take basic precautions, right? Put your food away. If you come across something, don't run, but back away, stay away, and just leave it alone. It'll most likely be thankful, and it'll leave you alone as well. All right, so another thing to be aware of on public lands is some general housekeeping rules. So one is most public lands, there is a limit in any given one spot that you camp. Although it's free, there is a limit of 14 days. And so that means you can camp for 14 days. I could sit right here for 14 days, live in my truck, hang out with my dog, hike, just enjoy the solitude. And a ranger could see me every day and he'll just wave. But on that 15th day, he's gonna stop and get out of his truck and say, how long you been here? You plan on moving out? Because there's a 14-day limit on these properties. So the 14-day limit applies on almost all public lands. Now, if you go to very popular areas like maybe Grand Teton National Park, Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, Yosemite, when you get to those Zion and Arches, when you get to those iconic national parks that just have masses of people year-round coming, there's generally some more tighter restrictions in those areas. Maybe not 14 days, maybe it's 7 days, maybe it's 3 days. And maybe it depends on the piece of property you're on at the time. But in general, there's a 14-day limit for most places on public land. And if you're in a very popular area, just remember it might be shorter. Another general housekeeping thing is packing out what you pack in, right? So there's no trash cans. There's no guy on a golf cart that's going to come pick up your trash. And as you camp, you're going to encounter trash, right? So if you brought it in here, you need to bring it out. So bring trash bags, but that's it. Come out here, have a good time, recreate, camp, hike, fish, hunt, jog on the trails, camp, and just spend a week out here in solitude with no TVs or anything, and just really kind of reconnect and bring yourself back to reality. It's a great way to spend your time. It costs you nothing aside from what you decide to spend on what you bring out here, but your stay will cost you nothing. And that's it. You know, if you have any questions about dispersed camping or how to find it or anything I didn't cover today, comment down below. Let me know. I'll answer it. We're a very small channel. We're trying to grow. And we have a lot of access to a lot of great things out here in Colorado, Wyoming, Montana. And we're always traveling. In fact, this week I'll be traveling down to Utah and Arizona and doing some truck camping on Dispersed. And so I'll film that and you guys can follow along. I'll link below a bunch of resources, everything from those apps to find your public land camping, to the Forest Service websites, to where you can grab this awesome Nemo camp chair because it is amazing. I love it. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.